They call themselves the Wolf Pack, and they showed they had some fangs last night. We'll show you that video in just a minute. But first, take a look at this line of Marine vehicles. We have watched a convoy pass by us for probably the last 2 hours or so, at least. Humvees, light armored vehicles, heavy artillery. And if you look over here to our left a bit, you'll see some armored personnel carriers. We've seen a lot of these as well. Heavily armed vehicles with a lot of heavily armed Marines inside. Now I want to show you, Christian, come back over this way. I want to show you the vehicle that we were in last night when we took heavy fire just down the road here. This is a couple of shells of the weapon that's on this vehicle. This is an LAV-25, a light armored vehicle with a 25mm Bushmaster chain gun on the roof. You can see the turret there. It looks like a tank, but it fires these shells, these high explosive rounds. And this is the inside where we were when the shooting started. I was in the back over on this side. There's a hatch above, and Christian called to be our photographer. He was on this side, popping up and down inside the hatch there. Take a look at this video, and I'll tell you what was going on. We were on a mission. We were heading towards an objective, and all of a sudden the lead elements of our convoy began taking fire from Iraqis out in the desert. There were an estimated 300 or more of these Iraqis in the desert. They were armed with RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades. They had light arms as well, AK-47s and other weaponry. And they were firing on the Marines, who obviously returned fire with the LAV-25s and with machine guns as well. In fact, this vehicle that we were riding in also fired on Iraqi targets out in the desert. And from what they could tell, they hit a lot of them. There were apparently dozens of casualties and several vehicles destroyed. And we talked this morning to some of the Marines who were involved in the firefight. Here's what they had to say.
We lit them up. They hit the deck, but they continued to advance. They were within probably 50, 60 meters. So we just kept the fire up, and then the 25 right next to me, he let up his coax, and then they started to retreat finally.
So what was going through your mind last night?
I hope I don't die. I hope I don't kill any friendlies. No fratricide. Hope everyone makes it out alive. A lot of my buddies were up, farther up, doing what the company push was doing. So just hope everyone was all right.
Someone told me it was your birthday yesterday.
It was.
Quite a birthday party.
Not really.
And earlier today, the Marines and Bravo Company, who were at the front of that firefight, actually detained some Iraqi enemy prisoners of war. They were driving a truck. They were in an area where the Iraqis had been seen previously. They detained these men. They put them down on the ground. They cuffed their hands and interrogated them, and they've been taken away from this area. Again, the Marines are continuing to roll behind me, and we're about to jump in our vehicle and roll with them. So we'll talk to you as soon as possible. That's the latest from Iraq. Now back to you in New York.
Rick, do you have time for a quick question? I'm curious.
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
All right, don't want you to, release any operational details, but if you get in a firefight like that, do you guys hang around to see what the result was, or does somebody else come in after you guys and mop it all up?
Well, we stayed until the threat was put down, put it that way. We didn't run off. We stayed there and returned fire and fired on targets until they couldn't find any more targets. And then at some point we did leave that area. Some elements of this unit returned to that scene today. Other elements have also been to that scene, and other elements continue to move in other directions. I don't know if I could say more than that. All right.